Hey, I'm Van. Over the past 3 months, I created a multiplayer chess demo that works with Steam and LAN sessions. Initially, I thought this project would only take a week, so let me walk you through what I learned to help you avoid the mistakes I made. Before we start, special thanks to Grant Abbott for his amazing tutorials, which guided me in learning Blender. I originally wanted to learn Blender to create art for my games. This involved learning several pipelines, including hard surface modeling, texturing, weight painting, animating, and retopology. After about 2 weeks, I decided to incorporate some of this art into my project. I grabbed the chess pieces I had already made and thought, I program a lot in my free time, how hard could this be? I thought coding the rules for chess would be simple. Move pieces, avoid checkmate, promote pawns if necessary. It should only take a week. So I set out to do just that. I created a simple UI to host and join sessions, then coded a game mode that assigned players to black or white once 2 players were in the session. Players would left-click, and based off what they left-clicked, this would trigger game events according to the pieces they hit and the turn order. I built an interface to abstract the behaviors of the chess pieces, and coded the movement rules for the pawn, knight, bishop, rook, queen, and king in that order. All that was left was to test the project, and that's where things went wrong. During the first playtest, a major issue came up. Pieces were no longer calculating their valid moves. By this point, I had spent almost a month on the project, and I was tired of the messy blueprint setup I had created. I realized I needed to take a step back and unfortunately start over. For the second version of chess, I focused on creating a clean, solid foundation so that any issues would be easier to debug. The biggest change was migrating most of the logic to C++ and giving the game a higher level of polish. The gameplay was similar to the first version, but with better visuals and new audio. I tweaked the session code slightly so hosting was independent of session searching. Players could now see multiple sessions and select which one to join. I also made some minor code changes. I moved the logic that needed to be replicated, such as piece movement, to the server. The server would handle the logic and then replicate the information to the clients to sync the game state. Otherwise, the C++ code remains similar to the first iteration. The player pawn script still handled most of the left click and mouse hover logic. Chess piece behaviors were now separated into a composition pattern, which each piece's logic, pawn, knight, bishop, rook, queen, and king, placed in actor components now. A major change was moving around much of the data into the game state class, as the game mode class was only accessible on the server. This way data would only change when the turn switched. Additionally, I integrated Fmod for audio management, which reduced the overall clutter in the Unreal editor. For my second playtest, my primary goal was to ensure session hosting and joining worked properly via Steam. Overall, the second iteration took about 2 months to complete. This was partially because I decided to learn animation, weight painting, and rigging to have a hand pick up the chess pieces. However, ultimately, I removed the hand because it blocked the player's view of the piece. Currently, I'm picking up music composition again and working on updating the art in the chess project to make it look more complete. I'm also adding features like in-game audio adjustments and the ability to leave games mid-session. After working on this project, I've strengthened my skills beyond just programming. Looking back, I wish I spent more time early on planning and architecturing the systems. I'm excited to apply what I've learned to my next project.